Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very third episode of the Slow Run Cast, your video game podcast for people who don't speedrun things. We play games slow, we take our time, if we even have any time at all. I am one of your hosts, the Iraqi Balboa, Mohammed Al Saeed, joined by my friend and co host, and now with a solid nickname, the Derwinator, the Derweeb, the Dragon from the East, the personal record. But what was it? A squat? It was a squat, right?
Yeah, it was
Recently?
squat this
It was a
week.
squat. Yeah. Derwin Luke. How's it going, my friend?
I love these
How's it going?
nicknames. You just got to keep
Yeah,
coming up with
I'm
them.
just gonna keep doing it. That's gonna be our thing forever. I'm gonna have a nickname for you. Just you gotta keep inventing a new one though every time.
You're gonna
So
have to start inventing new ones.
yeah.
Got to keep making stuff up.
So you want to tell the audience what happened?
So we recorded a third episode last week, and I pull it up to edit yesterday, or was it this morning? No, yesterday night.
It was yesterday night.
Yeah, and we didn't press record, so our footage for an hour is gone. So now we are re-recording.
We are
Things have come out.
Yeah, so
We've
we
got
were like
lots to go through.
we were like trying to get ahead, and we're like, let's do a special episode and let's record it after our second episode and then release it on the long weekend so we don't have to record anything on the long weekend.
Yeah,
But
hopefully
yeah,
you didn't have any plans.
well, whatever.
We're skipping turkey dinner for you guys.
Well, the only thing I'm skipping right now is more gaming time to do this. So anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
our episode was gonna be, we were thinking like, you know what? Gamescom's over, Tokyo Game Show's over. I think Nintendo had like a direct, Sony had their state of play. So we're like, all right, man, we know what the release schedule is like for the rest of the year, October, November, December. We know a little bit of January and February. Let's take a look at the calendar, go through these games, see how we feel. Yeah, so we did all that already. Now we're gonna have to artificially pretend that we didn't have this conversation already.
It's okay. It's already gone from my head. I had such a busy week.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so do we want to, we'll get started here with just a rundown of the news for the last week here. Not a lot going on, but we'll discuss a few topics and then we'll do exactly what this special episode was meant to be.
yeah, we'll get through them real quick. Do you want
Yeah.
me to start, Mo?
Yeah, man. Take
All
it away.
right. Yeah, so I guess um there's two big ones that or two big news articles that kind of came up this past week, and then some smaller ones. So the big one that kind of drew my eyes is that Epic Games, which is a competitor to Steam, is now focusing on attracting mobile gamers. So for those that don't know, Epic Game Store does weekly game giveaways that vary from sometimes AAA games to indie games. It's good value for people. I personally have an account. I got Suicide Squad on there as well as Callisto Protocol. So, um, great games, wonderful. Suicide Squad
maybe
A
not
plus.
maybe not the best.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. They want to start launching these free mobile game giveaways in Q4 of 2024. So coming up here. I don't know how great these games are for mobile. I'm personally not a big mobile gamer. Like, I guess
Me
I've
neither,
played
actually.
Angry Birds and
Yeah.
Temple Run.
No, I actively avoid it. I'm like, I don't like, they just seem like they're all like mobile games. The whole philosophy is just like this addicting sort of like get on your
Yeah,
phone,
like
easy access, kill some time.
subscription-based games, right?
Yeah. No, I've never actually been a mobile gamer. No interest.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting if they did do some of the Square Enix giveaways, because I know that Square Enix does have a lot of Final Fantasy, like the old retro Final Fantasies ported over to
You're talking about
iOS
the
and Android.
Yeah, you're talking about the Pixel remastered from last year, where they did
Yeah,
the
Pixel
Pixel remastered 1
Remastered,
through
and they
6?
also have, like, Final Fantasy, I think 1 through 6 or something like that.
Yeah,
The
that's
Pixel
that's the ones
version,
I'm
yeah.
talking about. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they
So
also have
in
Final Fantasy 15, like, kind of a chibi version on,
oh,
mobile as well. I remember, like, playing the demo on it, like, a
there's
few years back.
there's, like, Resident Evil 4 on mobile,
Yeah,
like, the
yeah,
full game. There's, like, Resident Evil Village, I think, on mobile too.
yeah.
There's a few, like, full Death Stranding, I think?
Death Stranding is on, the MacBook. I wonder
I'm pretty
if
sure
a
there's a
purchase
mobile freaking port
on
of Death Stranding or something like that. I think I heard
yeah,
that or something.
yeah,
Anyway, can
so
you okay, so give me the rundown, like, how is this gonna work? Epic Game Store, do they have a launcher on Android devices? So you would go on the Epic Game Store, like, app on the Android device and get your free games,
so
or
it
how would
looks
you
like
get
it's
them?
a mobile storefront for iOS. So I wonder if they
S
do have some
Really?
sort of store, in the EU at least.
'Cause they had that big lawsuit there with them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
regarding, allowing third-party apps and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how it's gonna be fully implemented. Um, but I think the most ideal way is if they got around Apple's, um, app store and was able to have some sort of third-party store, just because 'cause it'll be so hard for them to get any profits from selling games that way, right?
I don't know, man. I'm not the one to comment. I'm not the one to comment about this. I mean,
Yeah,
the Epic the the mobile market is, like, crazy. I think we underestimate it, but, like, majority of the world do not play on consoles or personal computers. The
yeah,
majority of the world
no,
play video games on their phones.
yeah,
Like,
which
uh,
I
I
personally hate, but
well, yeah,
I
like,
mean,
when I've gone to Iraq the few times, dude, people are just playing, like, Fortnite on their phones or playing, like, PUBG is a big one there on their phones all
yeah,
day. Yeah.
yeah, I think with just the cost, right? Like,
Yeah,
when
like,
you're
you
young, you
can't
don't have the money to purchase these consoles, and consoles have not been
yeah,
cheap
and in a third
lately.
world country, dude, like, it's like a pipe dream. You literally have to be, like, an elite rich person to be able to afford a console.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, versus what you have in your
Yeah.
pocket, and
Yeah.
yeah, you can play, like, 15-minute game during your break or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, so
I'm interested to see where Epic Games is gonna go because I know they had that lawsuit. There's, like I don't wanna speak out of, order here, but, I know recently, like, the US government ruled against Apple or something about basically them running a monopoly with their storefront, so
yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that will affect, sales, but I think it'll be good. More
yeah,
competition, specifically just the games even,
yeah,
and potentially developers making more money depending on how the revenue split is occurring.
yeah. Anyway,
Or
moving on, second kinda big thing that came up this week is Halo. 343 Studios is no more, now they are the Halo Studio. They've completely rebranded, they're doubling down on Halo, multiple, projects in the works apparently, and above all, they're switching to Unreal Engine 5 from
yeah,
their what was their proprietary engine called? I forgot the one that they yeah, anyway, they're switching to Unreal Engine 5, lots of stuff in the works, I do think this is gonna be good for, like, other developers coming in who are gonna work on the Halo if they're hiring, because
yeah,
Unreal Engine 5 is something more universal, easy for like, developers already know the program, they already know how to, like, work with it instead of having to learn how some, you know, first party engine works,
yeah,
yeah, I also think means that, it's gonna be a lot easier to put this stuff on PlayStation 5 in the future. Yeah, yeah, I don't
yeah.
know,
I mean,
I think.
do you think Halo will be coming to PS5? now that Microsoft is kind of changing their position on
I
how.
think I think I think it's done. I think Microsoft's gonna go with full third party publisher. The
Yeah,
orders are coming from above now. Yeah, I think the days for Microsoft exclusivity is over. I mean, I think it's because of the Activision Blizzard purchase, personally. I don't think they would have gone in this direction if it wasn't for that. I
yeah,
think that cost Microsoft so much money, and the management from above was like, "Yo, we need to make money back fast now." So, you know what I mean? I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, are you excited to play some Halo on PS5?
It's gonna feel weird.
Right?
It's gonna feel so weird. Yeah. How did you feel about Halo Infinite when that came out?
Um, I'm I never grew up playing Halo, so Halo
Yeah.
Infinite was kind of like a starting point for me. I just thought it wasn't anything special to me
Yeah.
personally. I
Um,
heard that matchmaking was kind of broken for a while, um,
I don't know, man. I
near the
played it
launch.
for yeah, I don't play multiplayer caveat, I don't play multiplayer games as forever games.
Yeah,
People expect multiplayer games now to have endless stream of content and forever be engaging. Like they want to play one game forever. I don't care. A good multiplayer game, a game could last me a month or two, and in my eyes could be a good multiplayer game. And that's exactly what Halo Infinite was for me.
yeah,
Played it for a month or two solid over the Christmas break. It was great. I enjoyed it. It was like throwback to good old Halo days. I love the movement. I love the shooting. I love the maps. Everything. It was just like it felt like Halo 3 all over again from the 360 days, and or Halo 2 from the original Xbox. And nothing to complain. Enjoyed it at the time. The content was in fact bare bones, so people were complaining
yeah,
about the content. People who care about the content. But like when it comes to Halo, the way my brain is wired, I'm completely fine if there's like no real functional battle pass, or there's no like skins, or there's no, like if it's just go in the game and that's it. I
yeah.
don't
I
even care about
agree.
the
I
ranking.
mean,
Like I just want to play.
I just want a multiplayer game to exist, and then you can come back to it years later and still enjoy it.
I bet you if I picked up Halo right now, I'd like it.
Yeah,
I'd
I mean,
enjoy it.
as long as you can find a match, I think is kind of the issue
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, I bet you could still find matches on Xbox. There's no way they're
Yeah,
doing that bad. And I heard it's been a lot better. They fixed it a lot in terms of like content. I don't
yeah,
think the game was ever broken itself. It was just a
yeah. I
content
think it's
issue.
just
Yeah, it just
sparse
was a little bare
content,
bones.
and people kind of got bored.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm excited to see what Halo will look like with Unreal Engine 5.
oh, I think it's gonna look beautiful. I think Infinite already looked well, when they first showed it, it looked terrible.
Yeah,
I think maybe it'll even reduce development time, which is always good in this current age that we live in. Like these
yeah,
development cycles have become ridiculous. That's
yeah,
why a lot of these companies, man, like their games are like do or die, make or break. They spent 4 years working on it. If it doesn't sell, catastrophe, right? Whereas back in the day, you spent a year working on stuff. You released a bad game. It's not the end of your studio's life. Now you're looking at games with budgets like $300 million, man. And then the
do you
development life cycles are 4 or 5 years, 6 years. You're in trouble, man, when that thing does not hit,
Do you think
so
that now because they're rebranding as Halo Studios, they will potentially branch out to different genres beyond first person shooter?
oh, I mean, that's what these they said they were working on multiple projects. I was hearing
Yeah,
like 10 projects or something, whatever they were. I don't think all of them are actually games, but yeah, dude, they got to. They got to go back to like the what was Halo Wars? They're probably going to do another one of those.
yeah.
Do you remember what those are?
Um, my memory's a little bit foggy with that.
Yeah, Halo Wars is basically a real-time strategy game.
Mhm.
It's a real-time strategy, so it's like you're playing Command and Conquer or Age of Empires or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll probably do that. Um, I don't know what else you could put in that
Yeah, I mean,
universe.
it is such a big franchise, so I'm surprised we haven't seen more of those in general.
Yeah. Anyway,
Alright.
moving on. You want to talk about this? This is your story. This next one. You're the one who threw
I
this
just
on me.
thought this was kinda
To me,
cool.
this is yeah.
Apparently somebody used a PlayStation Move controller to perform surgery on a pig that was
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
5,780 miles away. I
Yeah,
For
yeah.
those that don't know, I am a registered nurse. That's how I know you, through your wife,
Yeah, yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Um, I think this is just crazy sick. I mean, we're using a controller to perform something besides driving a submarine.
I didn't realize a PlayStation yeah, driving a submarine. I hope the surgery went better than that submarine trip.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think this is just a beginning of, like, a
That's
proof of
pretty cool.
concept that,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
you know, that this is a viable way to get kind of top of the line healthcare from miles away or from very far distances, right?
Yeah. I mean, pretty healthy pigs get killed for food. This pig wasn't healthy and got a surgery.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
funny.
yeah,
It's
it's just
funny.
something
I
super
get it.
cool to me,
I u
that
yeah, I used to work in, like, research on, like, bone and joint health,
Mhm.
and so what we would research on a lot of times was, like, well, like, I specifically on knee injuries,
Yeah.
and so the best thing that you'd use in a lab as a model would be, like, a sheep's knee. It's the closest, like, domestic animal that's regularly available, like,
Mhm.
that you could, like, perform experiments on that are as close it resembles close enough to a human's anatomy. But one time I was trying to do something and then, like, the head lab tech was like, "Hey, they got, like, a pig on level 3 or something that they're gonna put down. You wanna go cut its leg off?" And I'm like, "I guess." And I literally, like, walked up to this level and they had this poor guy, like, I don't know what they were experimenting on, but they were gonna, like, euthanize him, like, like, humanely or whatever. And, like, he was still warm, and I just, like, freaking I took a scalpel and just my with my with my Muslim, like, with my Muslim ass just going there like, "Wow, look at this impure swine. Let me, just cut off its leg here for science." And I just, like, took the leg off, put it in a bag,
Yeah, the
went and
weird
chopped it
things
up.
that you kinda do for science.
It
Hey?
was actually yeah, anyway, that's a whole tangent, but anyway, cool stuff, man. Next is gonna be a
Alright.
PSVR controller. This next
Yeah.
story is for you too, because
Oh,
this
man.
I
Forget that Switch 2.
yeah.
Nintendo releases an interactive alarm clock. This thing might be more powerful than the original Switch.
But we I saw I saw this comment where it's like
Sorry?
the du I saw I saw this comment, I don't know what it was on the YouTube, like because they posted it on their YouTube channel, Nintendo,
Yeah,
the alarm so anyone who doesn't know, Nintendo is coming out with new hardware. New hardware is an alarm clock that has some type of sensor that knows when you wake up. It makes, like,
yeah.
Mario coin noises every time you're moving to wake up. The longer you snooze, it plays Nintendo music to wake you up, but then it'll, like, play a Bowser theme song if you're, like, really not waking up, so it changes whatever. Um, and and then it just turns off. It senses as soon as you woke up, it turns off on its own, so you don't
So
snooze it, which
so
is
let's
literally
say if
something
I
that'll never work for me because 'cause I'll literally just smash the thing. And I guess
so,
there's,
like
like, Splatoon, uh, Tears of the Kingdom, um, Mario Odyssey, Pikmin, and, there was something else. I can't
yeah,
remember, but
yeah, I
yeah.
hear they're, like, more calming tracks, but my question is, if I don't get up, do they just play the Mario death song? Like the like the game over
Dun, dun,
sound
dun,
for
dun,
me?
dun. Yeah. So anyway, on the YouTube video, I read a link, I read a comment, and it's like, "To the guy who, actually found a genie and asked them for new Nintendo hardware, maybe you should have been a little bit more specific with your request."
The whole monkey's paw thing?
The genie comes out, is like, "What do you want?" It's like, "I want new Nintendo hardware."
Here's
Here you
an
go, here's an
alarm
alarm
clock.
clock. Stupid, man.
Oh,
Anyway,
jeez.
yeah, I don't know. But the kicker here is the price.
Jeez, yeah.
How much is
So
it Canadian?
it's $130, I believe, and you have to have their, subscription service for their online. So Nintendo loves doing this. They did it for their classic controllers as well. I don't know if you ever picked up any of those, but they had like the
I
NES
didn't, but I
one
remember
and
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
couldn't buy like the SNES one unless you were subscribed to their Nintendo Switch Online.
Yep, yep, exactly. Um, I mean, okay, so here's my issue. You're selling a piece of plastic with, a bit of software and hardware. Have you ever thought of just releasing this as an app, you know?
Nintendo do don't. What do they say?
I mean, I'm sure their plastics are great because Nintendo always designs things that will rarely break. I mean, you could probably huck it across the room, as I'm sure Mo will, and it'll survive. But really,
Yeah,
who wakes up to an alarm clock anymore? I use my
I
phone.
know you have your phone. Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
So,
I
like,
mean,
$5 app, I mean, I'm sure people will buy it just because it's
yeah.
like a Nintendo app, but
What was that game? Pokemon Sleep?
yeah, Pokemon Sleep, that's, like, another one. But I mean, I wonder, because that one is the creators of Pokemon Go, right? Niantic
Yeah,
or whatever?
something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, but regardless, I think it could have been an app. I mean, for
Yeah.
people that actually want an alarm clock, I guess say buy to $130 and you can kinda get this cool toy.
Hmm. Anyway, moving along, we have a Alien Isolation sequel in the works 10 years after the game came out. So that's exciting news for anyone who's a fan of that franchise. Have you played Alien Isolation before? Came out in like 2014, I think now, which means
I
it's in
have
early
not.
development. You have not.
I've watched videos and it's scary as shit.
Yeah, it was like I remember it was pretty polarizing at the time just because like first of all it was a little bit too long. It was a bit of a drag.
Mhm.
Um and but apparently like the AI on the alien was like something insane from the time
Yeah,
like it
and
was
it would change every single time from what I understood, like
I
positioning.
so yeah, so I didn't play that game when it came out and um just because really horror games weren't something on my radar back then, but I've always known it's like a horror classic ever since I started getting into horror games. And I actually recently tried to play it on the PS Plus extra subscription it was on. And usually I have that subscription and I use it for for when they're going to take a game off the subscription. I like
Yeah.
panic and I'm like, "Oh my god, I didn't play this." So they were going to take it off and I booted it up and I started it. I played for like an hour, but I didn't really get anywhere before they took it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard that like basically the alien will like depending on where you hide and stuff, it like remembers.
Mhm.
So if you're like hiding in a specific place, it'll keep going back to that place if you keep doing that like regularly.
Do you think that the graphics hold up after 10 years?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
thought it
it
was
is a
okay.
darker game, so textures will look
No, I
fine
think it
usually.
looked okay. Yeah, yeah. And I think there was even a PSVR function for it at the time where like if you shake your head or you make noise,
Yeah.
like if you get scared, like the alien could detect it. I don't know how they did that.
Probably doesn't work with the VR too.
No, it does not.
Oh, well.
Um
All right. Next story, we've got Red Dead Redemption coming to PC for the first time ever.
Yeah, 14 years later, coming to PC for $50, as if people who didn't want to play this on PC didn't already have some type of port or something that they made, like as if people didn't already torrent it on PC. But anyway, it's coming to PC officially for
Yeah,
50 Canadian dollars, 50 American dollars or Canadian dollars was it? I can't even remember.
I think it's probably gonna be USD
50
because I don't
USD, that's
think
pretty steep, man.
games really release for below that anymore.
That's
So,
like gonna
what,
be 70.
70
It's gonna be like
Canadian?
70 here. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, that's kind of strange. I didn't even realize that game wasn't on PC. I actually did not know. I
Yeah,
just assumed it would have been. Is Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC
I
then?
think so. I'm pretty sure it is.
Have you played Red Dead Redemption?
I haven't. I'm not a big fan of cowboys,
Oh man. Here's the thing. Okay, I actually have not played the first one, and the second one I got about 80 hours in, and
Mhm.
freaking YouTube spoiled the ending for me. And I was like so invested in that game, and I got so mad I literally just deleted it off my PS4.
Yeah.
Like I was like the bastard who just put like the biggest spoiler on like a thumbnail for the on YouTube. I lost it. I was like, "Oh my god, you." I mean, yeah, I was playing it like 2 years after the game already came out, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that still ruins
I,
things.
I don't know.
Um,
Yeah, I'm still going to go back. I think I was a little bit bitter, but
it's kinda like GTA, but with cowboys, right? Is that, like, the best way to describe it?
that's like maybe that's not the best way to describe it. That's the most simple way to describe it because it's Rockstar.
Yeah.
So it's GTA, but it's like a Rockstar game through and through, but in a cowboy setting. So that has its limitations, right?
I mean, since it is coming to PC, I'll probably try and play it and see
I
how.
don't know. I think the cheapest way that you could play it and not really go through these like because it did come out to PS4 recently because it was how PS3 and PS4 do not have a compatibility with each other. Like
Yeah,
PS4 is not PS3 backwards compatible. So basically that game on for PlayStation users was stuck on the PS3. Like if you didn't have a PS3, you didn't have it on the PS3, you could never play it. That's not the same for Xbox users because the Xbox One, after a certain point in time after it came out, they made a lot of 360 games backwards compatible for it. I believe there's like 900
yeah,
360 backwards compatible games on Xbox One and Series X. So you could buy the 360 version of the Xbox game and play it on your Series X. And when they released that port for Red Dead Redemption on PS4 and Switch last year, I think it was
mhm,
Switch, yeah. They didn't do the same thing for Xbox One because it wasn't like stuck on the previous platform. Like you could already play it.
yeah,
And I was even hearing at the time that the 360 version on the Series X looked better than the PS4 port.
yeah. Because they would automatically optimize too, right? I think that was, like, one of the key things.
Yeah, smart delivery on the Series X. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
I think that yeah, maybe it's time if you ever want to play that game, it's time to make use of your Series X.
yeah. I'll
Anyway,
I mean,
moving
let's
on.
let's be real. I
Sorry,
sent you a photo the other day about how I'm using my Series
bro.
X.
No, we shouldn't be
So
bringing that up, man. We're gonna have Xbox. We're gonna have Xbox fans on this chat, bro. We can't be making fun of Xbox like that. Don't bring it up, bro. We're gonna be called Sony shills.
fine,
I mean, I,
fine.
I like my Series X. Don't
I'll
get me
keep it to
wrong. It's
myself.
just
I do honestly, I do like the Series X controller. I've got the Elite controller. I use it to play the games on PC all the time. Unless it is a Sony title, then I'll for sure be pulling out like the DualSense. But in
yeah,
general, it is my primary for gaming on
PC.
PC.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like my Series X. I liked Game Pass. I'm not sure I like Game Pass anymore with all the
Yeah, the
price
changes
hikes,
that
but
they made. But
yeah.
all right,
Anyway,
take it
Little Big
away.
Planet 3 is being delisted off the PS Store and is removed off PS Plus Extra. Maybe there's a possible going to be a halt on hard copy sales. So I'm actually literally going this weekend to freaking try and find a hard copy of that game somewhere.
Yeah,
Whether I could get it in store for new or get a used copy. Uh, and if not, I'm just gonna buy a digital version because you could still buy the digital version, whatever. Which is sad. Like we're talking about, like this is kind of in the bigger conversation about like uh, these games not getting lost forever. Game preservation and whatnot. I know the issue with this game was something to do with DDoS attacks on the servers of
yeah,
Little Big Planet 3 for all. So I don't know why Sony was having such a hard time dealing with this thing. I think earlier this year they literally just shut off the servers because there's like millions of like user created levels. Because the whole thing about Little Big Planet was like user creation, user creation, user creation. So I think they like shut them off earlier this year in April. And I think I mean the game's at the end of its life cycle for sure. They're not really selling copies for it, so they're like, this is too much of a headache. Let's just delist it. and
Yeah.
probably they'll shut off the servers indefinitely.
So yeah, the servers were permanently offline after they went down to technical issues. So I don't think it's even back, and then they're just delisting
No,
it
no,
completely.
they're just delisting it completely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
it's still
game
it
preservation
says
thing.
it's still $20 on the store, but you have until October 31st to pick it up.
October 31st. Yeah, that's a shame. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I like the most recent Little Big Planet game, Sackboy Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that co-op with my wife, the whole thing. I thought it was really good. It kind of didn't get any limelight when it came out. It was like PS5 launch game,
Yeah.
but I think everyone was playing Spider-Man Miles Morales and Demon Souls instead, which
Yeah.
is what I was doing. Like I
And I
didn't play
mean,
that game until
Astrobot
way
just
later.
seemed to be more appealing as like a
And the Astrobot, especially Astrobot, was on the console, and then that Sackboy came out, and Astrobot was free, so they were both platformers, and
yeah.
and Astrobot was doing more with the dual sense. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
and
kind
it
of got left
basically
in the
like would
wayside.
scratch your itch for anything that you wanted to do for platforming, right? Like it was Astrobot was a decent like game to even play for a full playthrough, and that probably would satisfy my itch for platforming like that. So
Yeah, Astro's Playroom was like 5 hours, I think it
yeah,
was.
like any more than that, I'd be a little bit bored. So
Next story. This is for you.
why don't we save this for when we go through the
All
upcoming
right,
games? I mean, it's
all
already
right, all right.
released now, but
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
we'll touch on it then.
Um, yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Last kind of story we got here, pleasant story, is Metaphor Refantasio sells 1 million copies in a day, which actually breaks Atlas's record for most sales of a franchise uh, launch. I think the record before was Persona 3, and that sold 1 million copies in 5 days.
Yeah.
So I think the big difference here is the lack of exclusivity. I'm pretty sure Metaphor Refantasio is on everything except for Switch. It's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation, and it's on PC. So yeah, it looks really good, this game, and the review scores are through the roof. It's like a 93 or a 94 on Metacritic last time I checked, a critic score,
Yeah.
and the users seem to agree. So I mean, good for Atlas, man. Like I respect these guys. I don't. This is not a genre of games that I care about too much, but I respect them because they just like stick with it and do what they want to do. You know?
Yeah. And they're
Yeah,
selling well. I mean,
yeah,
that's
and
crazy that they're selling 1 million in a day and still breaking records. So
yeah.
last week when we recorded this episode, I said
Uh,
that I was very Persona 5'd out. So this game wasn't on my radar,
oh, now it is.
but now it is. After
Yeah,
seeing the reviews and after seeing the sale numbers, I feel like this is a game that
you got FOMO.
I
You
pulled a
got
U
FOMO.
about Black
Yeah,
Myth Wukong.
yeah. You pulled
So
me with Black Myth Wukong.
yeah, I think I will at this point wait until later to pick it up because I'm still working on quite a few games. But
I'm in the same boat. We'll get to it here in a bit, but the amount of games that have just come out or that came out the same week, um, like, and I know this game's probably going to be 80 hours minimum,
yeah,
right?
this is
So I think I'm gonna leave this for later, right?
this is not a platinum for me personally. I don't know about you.
I don't know if I'm gonna platinum this game, but let's at least freaking start it first and see. But yeah, I don't know. No, I'm probably gonna leave it for some other time to play. Maybe when there's a lull in some releases. Yeah. Um, I did like I could have sworn this game was on Game Pass. So when up to the release, like I didn't even think about buying it because I was like, oh, this one I'll just download it and I'll play it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
And that's it. And then like I literally went onto my Xbox like yesterday. Like, okay, let me like download it before it launches. Or no, that was the day before. Let me download it before it launches, and then I'll get to play it. I'll try it out. I know they dropped a demo that was like 8 hours or whatever, apparently. So I was like, so now maybe I'll just play the demo instead. But anyway, I went on Game Pass and it wasn't there, and I reading it, and apparently a bunch of people had the same idea as me on
Yeah.
the internet, on Reddit. They're like, dude, I thought this game was on Game Pass. I think it might have been just because it was so heavily tied, its marketing cycle was so heavily tied with Xbox. Like it first showed up on an Xbox event, it kept showing up on Xbox showcases, and because Xbox like threw all the put all the Persona games on
Mhm.
Game Pass. Like they put Persona 3 on Game Pass, the port. They put Persona 4 Golden, the port on Game Pass, and they put Persona 5 Royale on Game Pass recently.
Yeah, and
And
they
then
had
Persona
Strikers
5
too. That's how I
Tactica.
played it.
Yeah, Persona Strikers. And then Persona 5 Tactica came out day one. And then Persona 3 Remake or Persona 3 Reload came out day one. So my brain just assumed Metaphor ReFantazio was going to come out for
Yeah.
on Game Pass.
I actually haven't looked at Game
So
Pass
anyway,
for a hot minute, but it looks like they recently added Sifu on there as well. That one was a really highly rated game as well that I've
yeah,
never
I
played.
think that was PS Plus monthly game. It was a PS Plus monthly game not too long ago. So I already redeemed it like that. Anyway, that's it for the news this week. Let's take a short break cuz my throat is super dry. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, my friend, again, it's October 12th now. Well into the fall releases. We don't got any more big events that are going to tell us what's going to come out in October, November, December. We got the Game Awards in December, which I'm always super hyped for. But for now, like, let's see what's coming out and what we think, man. So when we did shoot this video originally, a lot of these games weren't out yet. A lot of
Yeah.
them are out now, so we'll still go over them as like big releases. But I want to kind of get your thoughts on it all. So October 4th, Until Dawn remake came out. It's sitting at like 71 on Metacritic, critic rating score. I don't think it's doing any better on the user score. The user score has it at a 6.5, 193 reviews. I was hearing that they changed a few things from this game, um, music wise, and some story beats. But otherwise, it was just a full $80 price tag without any upgrade path. So similar to the Last of Us Part 1 situation where they called it a remake. So if it's a remake, Sony's been doing these remakes and remasters. If it's a remake, it means it's going to be a full priced game. If it's a remaster, it means if you own a copy of the PS4 version or the older version, you get like a $10 USD, which is like a $15 Canadian upgrade path.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that also didn't sit too well. Um, I kind of had this kind of on my radar, but I guess, and I heard the PC performance was kind of horrendous. But now I'm just kind of like, maybe I should just play the original Until Dawn for
Y-
spooky season. That's
Yeah.
kind of what this remake has done for me. I'm like, I already own the original one. I don't know when I picked it up sometime, probably on sale or probably PS Plus or something. I'm like, I might as well just play it now that it's October. I don't have any other thoughts about that.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at a comparison video between PS4 and PS5 gameplay, and honestly, it doesn't look like completely, oh my god, I need to play this.
Yeah,
So, and you know how I feel about scary games, but we'll get to
yeah.
that on the
Oh, yeah.
next on the next
We'll get
game.
to that here. So next big game, which came out last Tuesday, today's Saturday, Silent Hill 2 Remake. So I went and bought this game day one, even though I still haven't tried it yet. I downloaded the game. The date came out. I had previously purchased Space Marines 2 Warhammer, and I was waiting to play it co-op with a couple of my buddies. And it so lined up that they finally bought copies of the game and were gonna and wanted to start up playing the day Silent Hill came out. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we played Space Marines one night. One night I was completely busy with work, so I didn't play. And then another night we played Space Marines. And then I had a few friends over for like a movie night last night. So I have not touched Silent Hill 2 yet. The reviews are also pretty good, 86 on Metacritic. User score a 9 point or no, Metac score and then 9.3 user score from 1,202. And just keep in mind, I never felt this way about this game. I was always anticipating it. I was always hyped for it. But um people were not, it seemed like on the internet, a lot of people were like, this game looks like garbage. Like, I guess there was lack of trust in Bloober team being able to uh remake this classic. And then it seemed like it outperformed those initial like negative expectations of it. So you, on the other hand, this isn't something on your hype radar, but you went and you went to try it out anyways. So what did you think?
Yeah. So I thought I would jump in on the hype train. I got okay. I played for an hour. I spent 30 minutes running around town because I couldn't figure out this one door. I got through the door, played another 30 minutes, and went, this game is not for me. I'm shitting my pants. Okay, I had headphones on. It was
Okay.
kind of dark when I was playing, and I was just like, these things crawling on the floor, nah, man, I'm out.
It
My
seems pretty heavy. Yeah.
my
Yeah.
question is, who in their right mind, just the whole storyline, who in their right mind is going through this for a dead wife? Man, I'm getting a divorce.
Bro, there's like 6 different endings for this game, you know that?
Yeah.
Actually, I think there's like 4 original endings and they added 2 more new ones. So there's people
Man,
playing this game 6 times.
my ending is I got online, I ordered a mail order bride, and that's my new wife. There's no way I'm going through the city. But I do have to
Oh my
say
god.
the graphics look
He
really
gets a
good.
letter from his wife. Is the what's good?
The graphics do
Pardon?
look pretty good. I was playing it on high, so the fog effects were good. I didn't have ray tracing on, so I couldn't speak to like how the reflections and the lighting would have worked, but I mean, I had it off and it looked great. And
Yeah.
man, you have to
It
play with
looks,
headphones on because
yeah, you
it
gotta do
scared the
that with
shit
any
out of
horror
me.
game. Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing, I love like this third person uh horror, like story survival horror revival that's happening right now. Like literally just in the last like, not including some of the smaller games that have come out in that like genre, but like some of the big releases, Silent Hill 2 remake, Alan Wake 2, Resident Evil 4 remake, Dead Space remake, Callisto Protocol, which didn't hit as well, but still kind of in that same limelight, like the Resident Evil Village, and then Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, and Resident Evil Bio 7 Biohazard before that, and a few other games that maybe I missed in there. Like we're especially like with last year, we had like 3 heavy hitters in that genre. But I really like excited for this revival. Here's this thing that like I have about this genre of games, um, which is like this conflicting thing, because and it's, I could compare it to like VR, because like I love playing with VR. Love playing VR, right? And I also love playing survival horror games. And this isn't, and I do not love playing survival horror games in VR. I think that's a line. That's my chicken shit line. That's like, okay, bro, this is too scary. Why am I doing this? Right? At that point, it becomes a little bit like pushing it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but but the analogy I'm trying to make is like, man, I work, I come home, I got the kids, I got the wife, spend some family time, do my chores, hang out with everybody, do anything I need to do around the house. My gaming time is like the end of the night, and I'm using it to like, decompress and like chill out. And like, this is why I don't play as much VR as I want, because like the idea of putting a VR headset on
Yeah.
and like like playing around in VR, like and sweating is like not something I want to do in the middle of the night after a long day. And then in the same kind of light, do I really want to be turning on a survival horror game and just freaking out for the rest of the day? And it's like, oh my god, bro, I don't know if I have the mental capacity to do that. So I always have that like conflicting feeling. So I think the way I'm gonna play this game is probably I'm gonna piecemeal it. I don't think I'm gonna mainline it just because it's a little bit too much. And it seems to me a little bit scarier and more psychological than the other some of these other remakes that have been coming out.
Yeah, I honestly do fine with like zombies and aliens. It's just when you have supernatural things, I'm out, man.
When you have these bags of meat
Yeah.
that look like they're walking upside down towards you.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm out. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you could not
yeah.
pay me enough money. If that occurred to me, I'd be out of town. Like I said, mail order bride is my ending to this
Is your
game. Like no way.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah. No, I'm curious. We should probably do a play along one day, man. Bring you over.
No, no, no.
I mean, here's the thing. Playing these games when you're with a friend, it does make it a little bit more enjoyable. Like, it becomes less of, like, a stress, like, inducing thing and more of, like, a funny thing to laugh at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, what else is on the
Anyway.
release radar here?
So, October 11, which was this last Friday, was a big heavy hitter. We had the aforementioned Metaphor Refantasio. So again, I think we talked about this a little bit. Big sales, million copies in a day, which was a record for Atlas. It looks like, honestly, man, I'm really curious to jump into this game just because it's like it seems like it's Persona in a like a little bit of a Game of Thrones setting.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't have to do the high school romance aspects of it, which aren't my favorite aspects of Persona. You know what I mean?
You mean you don't wanna cheat
So
on all the girls that you meet after you,
and date them
form a
all at the same
relationship with
time.
them?
Isn't there like a trophy where you date them all at the same time
There
in
is.
Persona 5 Royal? It's like the hardest trophy to get. You have to like date them all at the same time.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly, and then there's, like, a
Yeah.
secret ending too where they, come slap you or something like that. I can't remember. I remember doing it and I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
this guy is a player."
Yeah. No, excited for this game. I uh I thought it was gonna again. I mentioned earlier, top of the show, that it was. I thought it was gonna be like a Game Pass release, but I guess not. So that's why I held off even playing the demo. I'm like, why would I play the demo? It's gonna be on Game Pass. I'll just play it
Yeah.
on Game Pass. But I guess not. So probably what I'll do, just because I mean we'll get through the rest of this list. Doesn't look like I have a lot of time to drop 80 hours in a game, especially even if it's good. There's other games that I'd rather play right now. So maybe I'll just play the demo, get a feel for it.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I hear
the other
there's different
game,
classes too, so
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard it just improves on everything that from Atlas. Um, Next game, October 11, is something I'll let you take it away because you've been playing this for a little bit.
yeah,
And that is
Dragon
Dragon
Ball
Ball Sparking
Sparking
Zero.
0.
So
So for
one second here.
yes.
This game's title is Dragon Ball colon Sparking. There's an exclamation mark after the sparking zero. Anyway, whoever
Okay,
localized
I
that
don't know
title.
how I'm gonna describe that in the title. But, yeah, so for those that don't know, it is a Budokai Tenkaichi game of sorts. It was the
Yeah,
original
I
name
think the
for it when it was
Sparking Zero is what they called it in Japan or
yeah,
something.
Sparking
Maybe
Zero
that's what
was
it
what it
is.
was
Yeah.
called in Japan when it was a release there. So, man, I don't I think the first thing I texted you after playing was, "This shit is real hard."
I don't see. I need to play this to understand what you're talking about. But why?
I don't know if it was just, like, because I was kid and I was just mashing the buttons and, like, people were dying. I thought it was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm so good at this game." And then I pick it up, I get to Vegeta, grade 8 form, and I died for an hour. I was recording gameplay for this video, and I had to cut an hour of just me dying to this guy, and I was, like, refusing to turn down the difficulty at all because I thought, you know, this is a skill problem. Like, it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm just I don't know, I just suck at this game. But then Bandai Namco officially tells people to either get good or just lower the difficulty, and I
Bandai
respect that
Namco's like,
because
we published Elden Ring, so we're gonna tell you to get good. Yeah,
I've
that's
never been rocked. So, that's a lie, but I've never been rocked in, like, a third party, like, Dragon Ball Z game this hard, or a third
nice.
person Dragon Ball Z game this hard before.
Yeah, like
Um,
a 3D arena fighter. Yeah.
but there is a lot of content in this game.
Oh man,
Basically,
did
all
you
the
see the
characters have some
character
sort of
list?
storyline.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
The character list looks crazy.
yeah, what was the Metacritic score, if you have it handy?
The Metacritic score for this one seemed it was still positive. W- Maybe a lower 80. It was an 81 user score,
Yeah.
or no, 81 critic score, but the users seem to be liking it a little bit more. It's a 9.1. Still not a lot of reviews for 152. I'm pretty sure the sales for this are going through the roof.
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
could guarantee you. And yeah, I played the Budokai games when I was a kid. Uh, like that's some of my best memories playing with like my brothers and my cousins. A cousin of mine literally like yesterday on Instagram just sent me like a picture of him like buying like the $150 version of this game
Yeah, yeah,
package. He's like, "We're going in." Like he was like straight nostalgia, right?
yeah. Is
Like
that the
when we were
collector's
kids.
edition of the game?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he sent me. He was buying. He wasn't even buying the physical. He was buying a digital like
Oh, okay, so
$150 version with
I
all the
wonder if it
season
comes
pass
with
and everything.
just more of a battle pass, but, like,
Yes, yeah,
the roster is already pretty crazy. So I wonder what
yeah,
they'll add.
yeah. Man, I remember those old ones on the PS2. They had like everybody, bro. Everybody. It was crazy, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can
No,
make all the custom battles you want, which is
yeah.
insane. Alright,
I I wanna play this game, but again, just because of this release schedule right now, I'm playing Warhammer 40K and I wanna get into, Space Marine or
Silent Hill.
Warhammer 40K is Space Marine, but yeah, Silent Hill that, like, I'm just like, maybe I should hold off on buying another game for full price that I don't even have the time to play. And I know my boys are eventually all gonna get on it. Once they all get on it, we'll probably all pick it up together. Anyway, um, just I just wanted to mention, October 11 as well, there's this game called Undisputed. It is a boxing simulator. It's been a while since we've had like a high budget like boxing simulator game. Um, doesn't I was looking forward to this game kind of. My brother's an amateur boxer and like he kind of got me into boxing recently. So shout out to my brother Abbas. Follow him on Instagram. Um, and he he told me he played the beta on PC and he wasn't really feeling too hot about it. But I said whatever, I'll wait for the reviews. Reviews are like 71 critic score and like 76 user score, but there's only 5 user scores right now. So definitely not like something I'm going to pick up right now. Maybe something I'll just wait for a sale or something to try with him.
Yeah, I looked up
So,
some of the gameplay as well. For something that is developed on Unreal Engine 5, I don't think it looks great. Maybe it's just because,
really?
yeah, just because it is in a boxing ring and there's not really that much
I don't
detail to a boxing ring.
I don't know. I guess because I know all these boxers and like I just thought the character models looked really realistic. They do have like this level of realism where you get really realistic, but you're still not there. So you hit this like weird uncanny valley.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get this weird like uncanny valley-ish like kind of area of like graphic fidelity. So I think it's kind of there, but for what it is, like I mean, I probably would have picked it up if the review scores were a little better, but maybe I'll just wait for sale.
Yeah, and they did have interesting, gameplay aspects to it. It's kind of like a management sim too, so you do have to manage like your stamina bar. There's like realistic aspects to it. So like if you get hit too many times or if your blocking skill is pretty low, then it does break down. And then there's like team management as well. So like how you manage like your medics and your money and how it affects your career mode seems interesting to me, but I'm not a
Yeah,
big fan of sports slash boxing games, so might
yeah,
be something to check out if you're really into boxing, but
yeah,
not like a
yeah. I
pickup
heard
for
it was
sure.
like super realistic. It was really sim like.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along. Next week, October 15th on Tuesday, there's this small indie game called Neva that I'm really looking forward to. It's from the makers of Gris, Gris or Gris or Greece or whatever you want to call it, but I think it's Gris. They're a Spanish developer. I played this game recently, even though it came out in 2018. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to destroy the audio, man. I bumped into my desk too many times.
No, it's fine.
This audio is going to, yeah, um, yeah. So it's I just like Gris had the most beautiful art style ever when I played it earlier this year. And I so never immediately was like high on my radar. So I can't wait to see how that one plays out. I'm probably gonna pick that one out day one, like just buy it. It'll probably be like a $30 game on the PS Store indie. So
Yeah.
and it'll be like 4 or 5 hours to play.
Yeah, the art style kind of reminds me of, well, the design of the fox in particularly reminds me of Okami.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But the art style is really cool. And I think I watched the 15-minute gameplay, and the thing that stood out to me the most is the soundtrack.
Oh man, Gris had a beautiful soundtrack too. The art style and the soundtrack are amazing. So I can't imagine they're gonna go down in quality. They're just it's just gonna hit.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're really curious to try this game out, it's actually recently they released the list of games coming out to PS Plus Extra, and Gris is on that list of games. So
Yeah. It's currently on
you could
sale
give it
on Steam as well for a few bucks.
it's yeah, that game has been on sale like multiple times. I bought it for like $5 on the PlayStation Store. So, but
Yeah.
like if you don't even want to spend the money and you're already subscribed to Extra, I can't recommend that game enough. For
Yeah.
4 hours, just a beautiful art piece.
Yeah, it's a 2D side scroller.
Yeah,
And it looks
2D
like
side scroller with
you
puzzles.
do kind of talk to your pet fox to perform like platforming, which is unique, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
The one thing
yeah.
that
It's
did bother me is the character seemed to be calling the fox's name constantly,
mm.
and that bugged me.
Oh.
So I hope there's a setting to turn that off.
I would doubt it. I doubt it. I'll tell you from now. I feel like it's part of the game.
I think it just takes
Um,
out of the soundtrack, you know?
it could, yeah, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I'll report back.
Yeah.
I'll report back hopefully next week. Yeah. Uh, October 17, Super Mario Jamboree, new Mario Party game. I know some people like hate on Mario Party and say it's not a very good series and say these Mario Party games aren't very good. For what they are, man, I've had so much fun with Mario Party. It's probably like my top series on the Switch. I bought both the Mario Party. I can't remember their names. There was two Mario Party games on the Switch. I bought them both.
Yeah. One
Play
is
them
All
with
Stars, and I can't
friends.
remember the other one.
Yeah, play them with friends. I've played lots of hours of Mario Party with friends, both of those, with my wife too and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably buy that day one
Yeah. I mean,
too.
it's gonna be a holiday seller. Like, there's a reason why they chose to release this Q4, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I'm more of a Mario Party person than a Mario Kart person. So,
Man, don't get me started on Mario Kart. Worst racing game
oh,
ever,
horse
in
racing.
my opinion.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, moving along. There's this game called Unknown Nine Awakening coming out October 18. I did have this on my radar when it first got announced. It's been in development for a while. It's a double A-ish indie game. I'd say like expect something like Banisher's Ghost of New Eden or something like Flintlock Siege of New Dawn that came out this year, or maybe something like the first Plague Tale Innocence game, or something in like the quality of like maybe Hellblade, the first one, like a double A indie. It's also features the main character. The model being used is the girl who acts in the Witcher show as Yennefer. What's her name? Yennefer Witcher. I'm gonna search this up. Her name is uh Anya Chalotra. Yeah. So um I mean I liked her in The Witcher, but I guess kind of what I want to say about this game is unfortunately it doesn't look good from what I've seen. I don't It looks a little bit clunky. Looks a little bit weird. I'm not that hyped for it anymore. I'm just leaving it on my radar to see maybe, you know, it passes my expectations, but from what I've seen so far, I'm not really that into it.
Yeah, it's not
You
on my
got any
radar
comments
at
about this
all.
game?
So,
Yeah. October 22nd, Fear of Spotlight. I just want to highlight this one. This was from that Blumhouse Studios that makes horror movies. They've recently announced at Gamescom that they're going to get into making games, and they got a few in the works. You could go on their website and see. But the first one that's coming out is this Fear of Spotlight, which looks like a PS1 style fixed camera survival game with like, pixelated graphics, 3D pixelated graphics. I'm really curious to see what this is like, especially in spooky season. So it's a horror game. So looking forward to that one.
yeah.
And I think it's only like $20 or something right now. Um, yeah. So October 25th. This is probably going to be the best seller of the year. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Game Pass day one, which is crazy. Call of Duty game coming to Game Pass. I So what's the verdict, Derwin? You gonna play this with me?
I mean, I'm very over Call of Duty games. I mean, if you want to hop on a lobby, I'll join you, but I saw the gameplay
Yeah.
videos. Man, it looks the same as the other CODs, so I'm not very interested.
It
Um,
does look the same, but it also looks different enough that it sparked my interest. It's
yeah,
Call of Duty, you're getting Call of Duty, but and Call of Duty is a very good franchise that surpassed the test of time. My only issue with Call of Duty is I don't like forever games and I don't like
yeah,
annualized like the only annualized multiplayer games still around are sports simulators and Call of Duty really,
yeah,
or any game that's still annualized. It's sports sims and Call of Duty and maybe Pokemon, right?
yeah,
Um so it's like I feel like they're a little bit of a money grab, but this one I've like the last few Call of Duties have not sparked my interest. Like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 remake did not spark my interest. Vanguard did not spark my interest. Black Ops Cold War kind of sparked my interest, not enough to get me over the line. I didn't even play Modern Warfare 2 remake. I just played Warzone for that one. I
mhm,
didn't buy the full game. I think the last one I bought the full game for was Modern Warfare remake, which I liked as a Call of Duty game, and before that Black Ops 4, um, which I also enjoyed. But before that, I was on like a Call of Duty hiatus for like years. I think the last one I played might have been Modern Warfare 3, the OG Modern Warfare 3, or Black Ops 2.
yeah. Mine
And
was Black
I'll
Ops
be honest
3.
with you, I'm not very good at Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I'm not. But I used to play the campaigns, and I think I'm going to actually try and hop into Call of Duty campaign for once.
yeah,
Just this one looks really interesting, so I'm going to actually try and hop in. And I'm not a zombies guy. I've never been. I don't care about zombies, but yeah, multiplayer will be fun playing with the boys. And I heard the Omni movement looks crazy. And I also heard they kind of changed the matchmaking a little bit to like, because what would happen with me is like I'd play and I'd get a little bit better, and then they'd skill match me with like better guys, or I'd play with my boys and like they're all better than me, and like I'd get put in lobbies based on their skill,
yeah,
and I'm just getting slapped around, and then I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. So, and with Warzone, it was okay if the lobbies were a little bit harder. Warzone, I could navigate a little bit more. Warzone was a little bit more of a slow burn, but the fast pace, like reflex like shooter Call of Duty. I'm just not good at it. I was never good at it, and now that I'm 30, I'm not. Oh, hold up. Did I just call myself
Those
30?
reaction
No, I'm not
times,
30 yet.
man.
I'm tw- I'm 29. I'm not 30 yet. I still got a month. I don't know why I said that. I gotta hold on dear life to my 20s.
I
29,
I think
30 in
that
a
this
month.
game's like concurrent player count will be very important for Microsoft because this is what they paid the big bucks for.
I mean,
So
it's gonna make the money. There's no way it's
yeah,
gonna make the money. I just wonder what it's gonna do for their Game Pass
yeah. I
sales.
mean, they already did bump up the tiers in order to get this day one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They've this I'm looking forward to this game, but at the same time, I wish Microsoft, based on my choice of gaming and what I like playing, I liked Game Pass before. Maybe it wasn't making as much money for them and it was stagnant, but I liked it before. I don't like the fact that they're bringing less games month and month, month over month. There's less games coming to the service and more games coming off. And now they have this weird triple tier thing where even there's the middle tier that doesn't even get games day and date, only for Microsoft to make the money they need for Call of Duty. This Ultimate now in Canada is like $25.
yeah,
So please, if anyone's on Xbox or going to play this on Xbox or play this on Game, I guess PC Game Pass is different because it's still cheap. Um, but if you're going to play this on Xbox, if this is going to be your only game of the year, just buy it. Don't pay $25 a month because after 4 months, you're gonna you'd have already paid for the cost of the game. I know there's Ultimate, like so paying for the online subscription, but if you pay for the base level of Game Pass for that online, that's another $100 a year. So still, after 8 months, you're still gonna have paid for the cost of the game with your online subscription. So after a year, it's not gonna be it's not cost effective anymore. It's just cheaper to buy the game
yeah,
and subscribe to the base Game Pass.
yeah.
Just a
But I
thought.
mean,
If you're gonna play it for a month or two, then okay, yeah, it's a steal, whatever. Which is exactly what I'm gonna do.
yeah,
I'm not gonna play this game past February. I'm not playing this game. There's no way. If I could get, if I'm super addicted to this game. There's no way I'm playing it past February.
yeah. I mean, it's a different
Yeah,
story if you pick up another one of these games that are coming to Game Pass that are on
yeah,
this
which
release.
we'll
But
get to. Which is part of the reason why I'm kind of gonna resubscribe. Same day, Sonic Time Shadows Generations. What's the verdict on that one, Derwin?
I'm interested in it. This is a game that obviously won't be as graphically demanding, but it's probably a game that you'll enjoy if you liked the previous Sonic games on GameCube, or just something a little bit more fun, and you can turn off your brain and just kind of hit things around and explore the world. So
Yeah, yeah. I'll see what it's like. I'll see what the reviews are like, but this one I might even get, depending on how it runs on Switch. I might get it on Switch for my wife. She's a big Sonic fan,
yeah,
big 3D Sonic fan.
yeah,
So
she can listen
we'll
to
see
the
what she wants.
smooth voice of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, yeah. On the DLC, yeah. Moving on. I just want to shout out this game called Redacted with square brackets on the outside, October 31st. This is from the developer of the Callisto Protocol. And so the Callisto Protocol, the head of that studio that made that studio was the guy. I don't know if he was the writer, the producer, or director of the original Dead Space at EA. He moved on to make this studio, which was owned by Krafton, the publisher of PUBG. Um, and he wanted to make a survival horror game in the same light of Dead Space, and they made the Callisto Protocol, which came out a month before Dead Space. Unfortunately, the Callisto Protocol did not perform well. It was basically just a corridor simulator, from what I heard, and the head of that studio and who started that studio to make that ended up leaving. So that was kind of slow lived. But that studio still exists, and they're doing something with the IP. And what they're doing is they're making this roguelike kind of top down shooter game. Kind of looks a little bit like Hades with a little bit of like a Borderlands art style, like you were saying.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it's I think a $30 game. It's in the universe of Callisto Protocol, but kind of a completely different genre. So I'm just curious to see how that studio fares, considering their big game kind of didn't perform, and you know they're still alive and the head left. So I don't know. Any thoughts on this one, Derwin?
I took a look at the gameplay. It looks interesting. Definitely a lot different. Probably a lot cheaper to develop. And I mean, I hope it does well. I mean, it looks fun for the most part. There's quite a few different weapons, and the character design does look kind of cool. Very, like I said, very reminiscent of Borderlands, especially just kind of like the building structure. Player models could probably do a little bit of tweaking just to make it look a little bit cooler, but um, the environment looks cool. Character models, could
Mm,
could be improved.
yeah, we'll see. I'm curious. Next game, October 31st. I'm gonna let you talk about this. That's the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster.
Yeah,
You're the big Horizon aficionado
yeah. I mean,
on this
I'm excited.
podcast. Yeah,
There's
they got you.
huh?
They got you.
Oh yeah, I was actually searching up the purchase path. It's not out yet for the Canadian PlayStation Store. From what tried to buy it, I was like, oh man, I wonder if it's available because I'm gonna play it again. I'm excited that they're bringing the Forbidden West character models over. I think it'll really improve kind of the look of the models. Um,
Mm.
I didn't realize at the time, but child Aloy looks like a rag doll.
Yeah, that was like a famous meme.
Yeah, yeah, and, like, looking back at it again, I'm like, I remember this game being very pretty, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, pretty for your 2017 eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe it does need a remaster.
yeah,
Everybody has amnesia. They thought it looked really good, but they don't. Once they go back into it, they'll be like, "Oh my god, it does need a remaster."
yeah,
I
right?
don't believe that, but I don't believe that, but whatever. Anyway, I mean, I haven't played. I have played like 5 hours of Horizon Zero Dawn. I do intend on playing it one day,
Yeah,
and obviously, I'll play it through this remastered version when I do get to it. Um, but we kind of talked about that enough at the PlayStation State of Play podcast that we did our first episode there. So
yeah,
we also talked a lot about this next game at that PlayStation State of Play when they showed it for like 15 minutes. That's Dragon Age the Veilguard, October 31st. This is arguably probably top 5 biggest releases of this fall, if not top 1 for some people, I would say. I mean, but unfortunately, both me and you aren't very high on this. Has your opinion changed at all?
nope, nope. Un
No.
Yeah, unless the reviews come out and it's crazy and they sell a lot of copies, I don't think I'm gonna pick this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. 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 If this is a 91 or 90 or even an 88 on Metacritic or something like that, then, my interest will be sparked. I don't even know if I'll pick it up day one. Same kind of situation as Metaphor Fantasia. This looks like it's a very big game, and there's a few other games on this list that I want to play first. So,
Yeah,
uh, but again, it's not doing anything for me. The art style, the combat, none of it, none of anything I've seen so far of this game. And to be honest with you, I haven't watched all their deep dives or
yeah,
whatever, but nothing I've seen of this game is doing anything for me.
yeah. I mean,
And anything short of,
if they couldn't catch our attention at the state of play, I mean, what's
yeah,
what's a
yeah,
longer deep dive
yeah,
gonna do?
yeah, anything short of this game, like really nailing it with the reviews, is not going to be enough for me to go out of my way and kind of really try it. Yeah, I mean, I hope it does good, but from
Yeah,
what we saw, no, yeah. But, like, it's probably one of the biggest games, but, I mean, I can't imagine that. I'm gonna go on the place you know what? If you go on the PlayStation Store, you go under pre-orders,
yeah.
you could based on most purchased, it could give you an idea of what the hype is like for games that are coming out.
On
You
the
know what I
PS
mean?
Store?
If you go on the PS Store on your PlayStation, there's a section called pre-orders where you could pre-order games. You could sort it. I usually sort it based on release date,
Yeah.
so I could see what games are coming up in what order. But you could sort it based on not most downloaded, most purchased, or whatever it is.
Okay.
And you could, yeah, it'll give you an indicator of like how excited people are for a game
Oh, it's I'm
because based on
I'm
pre-orders.
doing it on my phone right now, and it looks like Call of Duty shows up in terms of best selling
first.
for pre-orders.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
Dragon Age is right below it, and then oh, there's the
yeah.
PS5 upgrade, so I can pre-order it. I'm gonna do this right now.
Oh, there you go. PS5 upgrade right there. Yeah, there you go. So see, I get like people are hyped for this, right? I don't want to like dunk on it, but it just visually it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Um, moving along, I just want to shout out this game, Empire of Ants. I don't know if you've seen this. You literally play as an ant. It looks like a Mountain Blade Bannerlord type game where it's like you have an ant, but you also control an army simultaneously. Like you're almost the ant general and you're fighting off these cockroaches and things like that. I mean, I don't know if this game's gonna hit, but I always love when developers try to go
Yeah,
think outside the
a
box.
little bit a little bit weird.
Yeah,
Are you gonna go ask
yeah,
your wife if she would love you if you're an ant?
yeah.
You gotta
If I was an
reverse it.
ant, would you still love me? Yeah, 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 yeah. Moving along, Mario and Luigi Brothers ship November 7th. This is another big one for Nintendo. Man, before we got on here, I today I looked at a trailer
Yeah,
for this game, a newer trailer that they uploaded. I can't figure out what this game is. I don't know if this is like I'm my Nintendo knowledge isn't that great.
yeah,
I don't know if there's like a I know there's a Mario and Luigi like series of games. I don't think I think this is a new game. I don't think it's a remake of an older game or anything. Um It looks like it's a light platformer, but then it turns into a turn-based combat.
mhm,
But then when I'm actually looking at the combat, I'm like, this is not like a turn-based combat command. It looks like it's a rhythm game. Like it looks like you're just supposed to press buttons at the right time to do an attack or press buttons at the right time to dodge. And the art style kind of looks a little ugly to me.
yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with this game. I don't know if you've seen it.
I saw, like, a quick gameplay thing, and yeah, I'm not uh, like, to me, it doesn't look very interesting. Um, it is a little bit
Yeah.
weird in terms of the animation. It's not like a Paper Mario, or it's not like a
Yeah,
regular
this
full-size Mario game.
the style looks a little weird. It's no, it's a new game. Um it's gonna be the first so there's a Mario and Luigi series, and they are role-playing games. They looked like role-playing games, but the combat
Yeah.
didn't look like you were giving commands. I thought there was no like I thought the whole idea of Mario RPG remake was because it was like the original like
Yeah.
role-playing game that was like super I didn't realize. I thought it was that, and I thought it was Paper Mario. I didn't realize this was also a thing. It looks like the last one that came out was 2015,
Okay, so it's quite a
but that studio,
bit of
yeah.
a gap.
So it's been a while, but yeah, no, this is. I don't. I wonder what the hype is for this, but I didn't particularly like what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it might sell well for the holidays though, right?
Oh man, it's Nintendo. It's gonna sell well. November 8th, there's this game called Slitter Head. Speaking of Silent Hill, previously, the guy who's, I don't know, directing this game, I think was in some capacity involved at um, Konami on some of the OG Silent Hill games. Um, from what I saw, so when this game first got announced, like years ago, must have been 2021, I was like, oh, okay, I'm hyped because I'm like survival horror plus Japanese setting survival horror.
Mhm.
Let's go. And then they showed it recently. It was either at not Gamescom, it was Summer Game Fest. And I'm like, oh my God, this looks like garbage. So I got a friend who actually was the reverse. Me and him were both hyped for this game. Then he saw the gameplay. He's like, he got even more hyped. Shout out to Hamzi. But I looked at him like, what are you talking about, man? This literally looks like hot garbage. So I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd point it out.
It takes place in Hong
It
Kong
looks very
technically.
double A. What's
It
that?
takes place in Hong Kong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks very double A, not in a good way. Um,
Oh, it's coming out for
w-
PlayStation 4 as well. So PlayStation
Yeah,
4 still getting some
yeah,
love.
sure is, man. Uh, there's a game coming here November 12th. I just want to shout it out. The Rise of the Golden Idol. It's a sequel, I think, to The Case of the Golden Idol. It's a puzzle game. I have not actually played these games, but I've heard only good things about The Case of the Golden Idol. So if that's anything that interests you, uh, and I love the art style for this, I would check it out. Again, I can't really report about anything about the Rise of the Golden Idol because holy smokes, I almost left the stream, dude. I was just typing and I like typed on the window that we were in.
Trying to get out of this podcast early, huh?
Oh my god, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this game I think is really has really good reviews. I'm curious. Yeah, but anyway, um yeah, it's 84 on Metacritic, the case of the Golden Idol,
Yeah.
so yeah, moving along, Lego Horizon Adventures. Again, I'm going to let you take it from here, our resident uh Horizon
Yeah, I mean,
stan.
this is a game that's actually developed by Guerrilla Studios. Um, it looks pretty cool. It looks good. It looks like there's going to be some cameos from other Sony characters in Lego form. Um, co-op mode is probably going to be there. It looks pretty fun, but usually the Lego games are a little bit more for kids. I don't know if I'll pick it up day one just because usually they kind of go on sale quite quickly. So, yeah, I'll be looking out for it. If it does get really good reviews, then I'll probably pick it up. But if it just gets like a 70, I'll probably just end up waiting for a little bit longer for a holiday
Yeah,
sale.
I have it on my radar. Yeah, I have it on my radar. Maybe I'll play it co-op with my wife or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Have you played a
Yeah,
Lego game with your wife co-op?
I haven't played a Lego game in a long time.
Yeah.
I think I played it co-op with my brother or sister or
Hmm.
something, but that was like 360 Lego Indiana Jones or Lego Indiana Jones 2. That was like the last Lego game I played. Um, moving along, Microsoft Flight Simulator November 19. That's the Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I am going to line up that Game Pass subscription for Black Ops to also play this. Uh, I'm looking forward to this game. These games look crazy. I don't even know how they run on the Series X. Insane. I haven't tried my Microsoft Flight Simulator, but now that this is announced, I'm like, might as well play this version. So I'm looking forward to that. You?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of flight sims. But I'm very much on the camp that if you are going to be playing a flight sim, that you need to get like the full setup, not like a
Oh
full,
my god. Okay, I'm not.
not a full like
I'm
boost,
trying this game.
but like you know.
I'm trying this game. I'm not gonna invest my life in this game. I'm just trying it.
But yeah, I think having a proper like joystick and like controls would be a nice touch for sure.
Yeah. Um. Right after that, November 20, also on Game Pass, Stalker 2. That is from the Ukrainian developers. I forget their name. Uh, so these guys, like this game got announced a long time ago. It was supposed to be an earlier Xbox Series X game, but it just kept getting delayed because of the Ukraine war, which is probably like the best excuse you have to delay a game. Like, I mean, nobody like take your time, developers.
Yeah,
you know, right? Like nobody's no pressure. Like I'm not mad at the fact that this game got delayed as long as it has. So hopefully the final product pans out. It looks like it's a little bit horror like, so my interest is a little bit peaked. So I'm also gonna try that on Game Pass.
yeah. I mean, having these games on Game Pass just makes it so much easier to play. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
install it and I'll probably give it a good few hours and see if
shot.
I can kind of get hooked.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But it does look very pretty, and I mean, I'm fine with having a bit of supernatural things as long as I can shoot them with guns. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
please don't give
yeah.
me a stick.
As long as you feel empowered. Yeah. If as long as you're empowered, it doesn't become a horror game anymore. That's the whole point of a horror game.
Yeah,
There's plenty of games that have zombies. There's plenty of games that have spooky things. They're not horror games because you're feel empowered.
yeah,
When you don't feel empowered, that's a horror game. Um, December or no, I want to mention this game, UFL, November 27. I want to see what this is about. This is going to be the FIFA killer. So this is I don't even know anything about this game. I just saw some advertising. It
Yeah.
looks like it's it's a soccer game attempting to be a FIFA killer or something in some case. I do not think they're going to have uh, any luck uh, with anything. But yeah, I don't know. You even has Cristiano Ronaldo on the cover. So
Yeah.
see what that is.
Maybe it'll be a surprise. Maybe
We'll
with
see.
EA rebranding, people will get confused and maybe pick this up.
Yeah, pick this one up instead.
Yeah.
Um, December 6th, we got Marvel's Rivals. Uh, also a hero shooter, but a hero shooter with a very good, very good IP backing it.
Yeah.
So I only heard good things about this on the beta. I think it's gonna be a success. Hero shooters aren't my thing, but yeah, this is definitely gonna do better than Concord.
Yeah. The infamous Concord.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think just
Yeah.
having characters that you like want to play as, right? Like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
cool is it
Exactly.
to fly around
I
like
don't want to
Iron
be.
Man or, you know,
Yeah, I don't want to be random metal guy in a suit that I don't really care about his backstory. But if I
right?
could be Iron Man, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think is this free to play?
Um, Let me take a peek. I actually haven't even looked at it. I mean, it would be good if it was, but
Yeah.
I feel like people would pay for this anyways,
Oh yeah, they would for sure.
right? Like,
Yeah.
um, so let's see. Steam is the first one that comes up. Um, Add to wish list. So it doesn't look like there's a price on here. Oh, it does say free to play. Popular user
Nice. There you
defined
go.
game. So
Um. Yeah. Moving along. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, December 9th. That's another one on Game Pass. That's four Game Pass bangers for me
yeah.
in about span of 2 months, so a month and a half. So I'm gonna hit that one up too. This one I'm probably actually gonna play, not just try.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. What do you think? What's your temperature
So
check on this one?
I do like the Indiana Jones franchise. The one thing I want to say for sure is I'm very glad they don't have to ragdoll Harrison Ford through a movie set in order to get this game done.
Man, did you see the voice acting
Yeah.
by forget his name. Oh my god, he's probably like the most prolific voice actor in video games at this point. Uh he's the guy who voices Joel.
Ah,
Uh
and now I have to look it up.
oh come on, man. Troy Baker.
Yes.
Troy Baker, yeah. So I don't know if you heard Troy Baker voicing, like he literally does a perfect Harrison Ford
Yeah,
impression.
it does sound very familiar. There are some lines where I'm like, "Oh, that's definitely not Harrison Ford," but it's very close.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be a hit for Xbox for the first 5 months before they put it on PlayStation,
Yeah.
where it'll inevitably sell better.
I do think that the melee in this game doesn't look great.
There is a little bit of an aspect of like, I am still questioning if making this a first person game when it's not really a shooter,
Yeah.
instead of going third person with this like a Uncharted style third person game, I'm still questioning if it's the right creative decision.
Yeah.
It will make the game more unique because otherwise it will look like a Tomb Raider or an Uncharted
Mhm.
clone inevitably. But I am questioning how well it's actually going to translate to gameplay.
Yeah.
Like there is a little bit of an asterisk on that.
Yeah. It does switch
Again,
to third
because it's
person
Game
when
Pass.
you're, platforming, it looks like, though.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
glad that I don't have to platform as a first person because, man, that's gonna be a struggle.
yeah. But
But,
I don't know.
yeah, I think the key thing to this game is that it needs to have a story that is amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
If
If the
it
story is
if
like,
it doesn't, then I think it will be a failure.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, Game Pass day one, so
Yeah, I mean, free in terms of if you have a subscription, so
yeah. Um, One more game I want to shout out: Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 remastered, December 10th. Um, I don't have any thoughts on this. I have never played the Legacy of Kain games. I'll see how much the remaster costs. If I got some downtime, maybe I'll give it a try.
yeah,
I know they're classics, but yeah, nothing I ever picked up when I was a kid.
yeah, it looks good in terms of the
Yeah,
remaster, so definitely more enticing to play than trying to, play it on a PS2.
yeah, yeah. I do. When we shot this episode the first time, we did get into January and February. We're already an hour and a half in here, so
Yeah, I
maybe we
think we
could leave
can.
January and February. We could leave January and February to a after the Game
Yeah,
Awards kind of. We could do that. We could circle back in January, do another episode of this to see what the first quarter of 2025 looks like. Because inevitably after the Game Awards, we're gonna have some more release dates that are gonna fill in March, potentially April, and maybe fill in February and January a little bit more. And there'll probably be some Switch Direct early 2025, or like they have that Xbox developer direct they've been doing in January
yeah,
every year, that maybe will fill in the gap a little bit more. So maybe we'll circle back then and hit those games up. And a lot of them we already talked about on the Sony State of Play episode.
yeah,
Those games are we got like Donkey Kong Country Returns January 16, Dynasty War Origins, which we kind of shared our thoughts on already, January 17th, Civ 7 February 11, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 February 11, Assassin's Creed Shadows February 14th, Vowed February 18th, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii February 28th, Monster Hunter Wilds February 28th. Like those are a lot of heavy hitters in there.
yeah,
I feel like this episode would go on for another hour if we talked about them. I do want to shout out some VR games. There's, I think, this fall season for PSVR 2 is probably the best quarter of PSVR 2 releases we've seen since this piece of hardware has come out. Better, I think, than the original launch lineup. The original launch lineup would probably be the second best kind of quarter of anything coming out for this piece of hardware. Um, October 3rd, we have Metal Health Singer VR, which is a rhythm doom like based on heavy metal music where you actually shoot and reload the gun to the beat. This game already came out, like, I believe it was last year or the year before. No, it would have been the year before, 2022. I already played it out of VR, but I'm really interested to see what it's like in VR. Arizona Sunshine remake. Arizona Sunshine 2 recently came out last year, so they're remaking the first one so that it works on PSVR 2 hardware, as it was only on PSVR 1. Um, so that one looks good. It looks like it's a high quality game, but it's again another zombie shooter, which there's like plenty of on VR. Vendetta Forever looks like it could be like a pistol whip like fast paced action shooter with like vibrant colors and stuff like that. Um, Wanderer Fragments of Fate. This one's tough to describe. It's also like a first person shooter melee thing, but there's like some puzzle universe thing going on here. Honestly, it would be easier to just look it up. But it seems like it's a higher quality release coming out. And then I want to highlight three. I think these are the three big games coming back to back to back. Metroid Awakening VR. When we saw that at the State of Play, it looked really good. It looked like it was just a tier under Half Life Alex. I think this one has a lot of promise. Behemoth. So that one's November 7th, and then Skydance's Behemoth is on November 14th, which also looks really good. It looks like it's a little bit of Skyrim plus a God of War, like a more recent Norse mythology God of War, with like a little bit of like Shadow of the Colossus, like all in VR. And there's these big like monsters you climb up onto. I I think this one's gonna be interesting to see how this one plays out. Alien Rogue Incursion, December 19. This is an Alien game. We spoke about Alien Isolation, top of the show. I wonder how this is going to play out and if it's going to be anything comparable to playing Alien Isolation on PSVR 1. I don't know if it's gonna be the same idea of running away from an alien and there's gonna be the AI involved, but yeah, it's just something to keep your eye out on. But that's it, man. That is it. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm just glad that we were able to re-record this. Hopefully, this
Well,
doesn't happen
listen,
again.
if this happens right now, I'm not re-recording this episode. We're giving up.
We're
We're just gonna.
we're just gonna make an
I'm just gonna
hour
skip this.
cut of you singing our break song from episode 2.
Exactly. Dun, 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 dun. I watched this. I watched this Indian movie yesterday. It's supposed to be like a classic movie. It's not. It's not Bollywood. It's from 1979. It's in the Malayalam language. Um, I watched it with a couple buddies, and the reason was apparently it recently got restored, and Martin I can never pronounce his name.
Scorsese? Scors
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically said it's like one of his like favorite films of all time, something along the lines of that. Don't quote me, but it's like it's like about this kind of wanderer, sorcerer, trickster who just kind of wanders around and he walks into like a rural village and basically tricks all the kids and stuff like that. And like you know, it's like it's a slow burn, and there's the cinematography is amazing on it and whatnot. But there's a lot of music in it. It was almost like it was a musical, but it wasn't. And so this wanderer, he kind of like walks around and like sings this like song, right? I'm gonna try to play it here to remember exactly what it sounds like. But it was like I'm like that should be our what do
Y
you call it?
You're gonna reenact it for us right now.
Break. Yeah, I'm
Please
gonna
do,
reenact it
please
right
do.
now. This was he goes "Arambatarampatarambatarambatarambatarambatarampantante." And then he says something else. He goes was "Biram batiram batiram bartangarkar hillangar hangara langanadare." And he just keeps repeating it. And like literally it like stuck in my head. And all I've been saying today is "Arambatarampatarambatarampatarambatarampatarambe. Hiringe hingaraka hennankar halinkar hanam." Obviously, I'm not
Your
saying this
wife
right.
must love you right
But
now.
yeah, it was a really good movie. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah. But the guy, like, you can't even describe this guy. He like walks around. He has like no shirt on and like these red pants, and he got like a fake beard on, a fake white beard. Even though there was like a scene in the movie where he's like clean
Yeah.
shaving, and then he just puts this fake white beard on, and then like he has this like stick on his back, and then he just leans his hands on like this, and there's like a bunch of like animal masks on it, right? Like these creepy masks. And he has this like almost it's not even like a sword. It looks like something like a staff that's about this long maybe, and it's got like these rings on them. And he just like shakes them around, and he's just there's like man, so many of that movie is just him singing, and it's like this weird cryptic song, and it's yeah, that's gonna be a thing. So goodbye,
That's
everybody.
the genie that the guy wished Nintendo would release new hardware for.
That's the
That's the
one.
one.
That's the one. No, no, no. Yeah, he's the yeah, and the genie just effed with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Because he's a
exactly it.
trickster in the movie. Yeah. So, all right, man.
Alright,
It's 11 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard. What do
Mountain
we call it?
Standard Time,
Mountain
yeah.
Standard Time? Do we call it Mountain? But it's not MS. It's
Or
MTT, right?
Mountain
It's just
General Time? Something like that.
Mountain Time. It's just called Mountain Time. It's not even Mountain Standard Time. It's just called Mountain Time. So it's 11 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. I'm sleep deprived, and I'm still probably gonna get on Space Marines right now because I'm like one mission away from beating it. So,
Perfect.
so please don't tell me this video didn't record.
No, we are good. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and, we'll catch you
Yeah,
next
thanks
week.
for joining us. Dun 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 music out music. Bottom bataram bataram bantendere. Hirange bandara hambanga halankar halankar anagarkar. Dun 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 music out music. Bottom bataram bantendere. Hirange bandara hambanga halankar halankar anagarkar.